Hello, welcome to another video. This really is part 2 of having a look at the new Lionheart Cold War British from Flank March Miniatures, the Kickstarter that's coming up very soon. First off, I'd like to say a big thank you to Stefan over at Flank March for sending me the samples. He sent us basically a selection of heads and also some of the support elements that are progressing. As from the previous video, you'll know that this is going to be a Kickstarter where you can basically back it and get the STLs to 3D print yourself at home. And also Full Metal Miniatures are doing the range in metal. If you haven't got a 3D print and you don't want to go down that route, you can also get them in metal. Links to both the companies I'll put in the description at the end of the video. Interestingly, when I had a look at the initial figures with Stefan, I was a little bit unsure, is probably the best way, about the airborne helmet, the M76 para helmet. Difficult to describe, but it just didn't quite look right. It didn't look like it was bulky enough, if that makes sense. The great thing about Stefan and this company is I spoke to him on the phone. We've had a number of conversations and we discussed this, and he ended up in about 10 minutes increasing the size of the helmet, obviously on the computer using the 3D wizardry, and he sent us over some of the new heads with the resized airborne helmet on, which I'm happy with the way that it looks. I think it's one of those things where in wargaming figures, things can be accurate scale-wise, but they don't necessarily look right, if that makes sense. And I think that may have been the case here. But the new helmet's great, quite happy with it. You'll see when we go down to the bench and you have a look at them, I'll go through the stuff. As I've said before, I'm really excited about this range. It looks excellent. There's the option of having it in 20mm or 28mm. I think they're even doing 15 as well. I think that's going to be an option. Cracking figures. Certainly I would say in 3D printed, 3D sculpted figures, these are possibly the first ones I've seen where they don't look 3D sculpted, again, if that makes sense. I've seen some from different manufacturers where you can tell they're 3D printed and they look quite wooden, they don't look right, they don't look organic, if that makes sense. But really pleased with what he's doing. And I suppose from the sculptor's point of view, the nice thing about 3D sculpting, if there's any issues with altering stuff, you can just do it. It's not like you've done a master where you've got to completely redo it, you know, the green stuff. So that's all good. So what we'll do now, we'll get down to the bench and have a look at the new figures. Right, so as I mentioned in the introduction, really stoked about these new figures that Stefan from Flank March has sent us. So we'll get straight into it. They're basically the support elements. So if you just bear with me a second, we'll quickly go through some. Right, so I'll start off with, there's a sort of a section commander figure. Obviously, as I've said, all the figures are, they come with separate heads. So section commander, throwing a smoke grenade. You can see the details of the weapons there, really nicely done. And they're actually, I'm not sure what he's used, I'm quite impressed with how strong the resin is. I'll be perfectly happy. Normally I'm sometimes a little bit reticent about resin figures that can be very delicate, but I'm certainly quite happy with these. They certainly seem to be similar to hard plastic figures. I'd not have any concerns about gaming with these at all. So section commander, they've all got fairly standard equipment on. This is the initial range. I know he's been talking about doing some Falcon specific ones, which I'm in conversation with him about. But these are really nice. So there we go, section commander. he's also done a command pack. So this is a platoon sergeant handing out ammunition. He has got a Sterling, an SMG. I have sort of spoken to him about this. Certainly the units I was in, you wouldn't get platoon sergeants or platoon commanders with SMGs that have SLRs. The nice thing I think about 3D sculpting is I know Stefan's able to alter things, so this hopefully will be in the pipeline. Having said that, really nice figure. Webbing on, and he's got the ammo bandoliers. He's got one slung. He's obviously handing one out. Nice idea. Really, really nicely executed. Now this next one up, it's an 81mm mortar team. When I first opened the pack and saw the mortar, I was like, right, I wasn't even aware you could do this. So the mortar is actually a one-piece casting, and well, it's obviously the thing with 3D printing. Really, really nicely done. Correct model for the British. Just well, I can't really say much about it. You can see as you're looking at it, really, really well done. So 81mm mortar. Guy kneeling with the greenies, which is a really, really nice touch. The position he's in, excellent. No webbing on these guys, so they're just obviously in their smocks. Another guy kneeling for next to the mortar, also in a good position, kneeling over. And the third guy's got a mortar bomb ready to go down the tube. Again, light equipment order, but you can see from the quality of the design work, really nicely done. So that was that little first bubble wrapped pack. These next ones, again from the support element, 2-inch mortar, 51mm, what it's probably called. A lot of the weapons, which you can see on here, he's cast the hand, he's sculpted the hand on the weapon, which is really great. This is the appropriate body to go with it, and you can see the it goes fits in, base by the book. Really, they're really nicely done. So that's the guy with the 2-inch mortar. You also get pack of mortar bombs, and guy with a round about to put it in. Right, SFGPMG, which you can just see at the top of the picture. Again, low mount tripod. As you can see, the weapon itself is well, it's just, you can see the way it's turned out there. Absolute work of art. Again, the guys are prone, so once again, fits into there on the lower mount. Really nicely done. Go with their ammunition, feeding into the gun. And then we have sort of gun commander with his binos. Again, a really nice position, sort of semi raising himself up, about to look through the binos. Really good sculpting by Stefan. To look, I'm just, well, as you can probably guess, I'm really impressed with him. And next up is what we've got here is a sniper pair. So this is a guy with the L42, standard position, really nice. Done the weapon clean, so if you wanted to, you could scrim it up, and also obviously scrim the figures up. If you wanted to, you could go into sort of more detail with the sniper smock. Entirely up to you. And his observer, again with binos, really nicely done. Now the Milan, this is, I'll show you the base unit of the Milan. Absolutely beautiful. You can see the hands are already cast on, so the guy to operate it like that, lying at the correct angle, just really well done. The number is number 2. This is the number 2 body, hand ready to bring it up with one of the rounds. Again, you can see the hands cast onto the round, and he's obviously lying next to him. Now, the choice that you have, that's the, I'll just show you the tripod there, that's the really nicely cast tripod. The choice you have with the round, wait, if it's in pieces, standard tube here, you can see you've got a little spigot there that goes, I don't know if you can see it, that fits. There's the hole just there in the centre that fits into the round, so you can have it round, a standard round one. The other thing that he's done, which is really quite clever, is a round being fired. So the spigot here is at the back. What basically happens is when the round's fired, the tube's ejected rearwards. So that goes on roughly like so. So you can see the round, the missile coming out the front of the barrel, and the back blast. I think that'll paint up really nicely. It's a nice idea. I've done it in not in such great detail, but I've done it in 10mm with me Falcons Milan teams, and worked out nice. It does look nice to have these little bits on the table. Right. So the last thing I want to show you is heads. Separate heads. Now you'll probably not quite believe the amount that he's basically doing here. So what he's done heads with radio headsets on, heads with Mark IV helmets, which was the old sort of steel one, heads with airborne M76 helmets, parachute regiment berries, and Royal Marine berries. What we'll do first, I suppose the easiest way to do it is I'll show you the radio operator. So this stand here, and he's basically got parachute regiment, Mark IV helmet, and the Royal Marines. Now you probably can't, I'm not sure if you can even see it on here, the berries have actually got the cap badges on, really nicely done, and just ideal. So to go over to that, as an example, the Mark IV helmets, which you can see here, there's 12 different heads. So all the faces are slightly different. Some are shouting. I'll give you an example here. Really well done. Now, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a look. I think these are the, I don't know if I'll be able to show you the cap badge. These are the parachute regiment badges. He's monitored them on the back. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. But I have got the correct cap badges on. Take my word for it. You can see the faces really nicely done, and obviously the heads just slot on. Now, M76 paratrooper helmet. When I got the figures, it's sometimes difficult to, when you look at them, for sort of shape and size wise. What Stefan's done is taken the measurements and sculpted the head, the airborne helmet head, to the correct size for the scale of the figure. strangely, I think with a lot of miniature figures, you can do that, and for whatever reason, it doesn't look right. That, I think, initially was the case with the airborne helmet. So what I've done is I've mounted a helmet on a cocktail stick. I'll tell you what, we'll move these out of the way and I'll just try and explain. So this is the Stefan's original sculpt. Now from the front, looking at it like that, it looks reasonable. Although I did have slight concerns that it just didn't look bulky enough, if that was sort of the right phrase. Now, when you turn it to the profile, it does look to me, let's see, it's focusing in on it didn't look big enough to me. So what I did as an example, prior to speaking to Stefan at it, this is one of the figures, and I've mounted, that's an old Mofo head I've mounted on it. Same scale, but you can see there's a noticeable difference in the size of the helmet. And as I've said, I think it can sometimes be that they just don't look right. Although it might be right scale-wise, they just don't always seem to look right. So that is sort of the issue I had with the helmet. Now, when I've been speaking to Stefan for a while, when I spoke to him, I sort of brought it up and I said, it's no way, you know, sort of, I wanted to make it clear that I think the figures are really, really good. They're excellent. And I didn't want to feel I was criticising his sculpting or anything like that, because I'm not. Stefan was really interested in what I had to say, and basically, because the figures are 3D sculpted, I wasn't aware you could even do this. He basically, within about 10 minutes, he altered the helmet. So what he sent is the figures I showed you, the helmet, the heads that I showed you were the original ones. This is one of the original helmets that I thought was too small. However, he then sent us a set of the redone ones. Now what I'm going to try and do is hold them level, get my hand behind, you can see it. Now straight away you can see the helmet on the right is bigger, more bulkier. It's extremely noticeable when you turn them sideways, and you can just see that it's just better. And I think that's there as far as I'm concerned. I think with sculpting, especially with non-organic things, you're always going to get people who are like, oh, I think it should be slightly in. I'm not quite sure. I'm quite happy with the helmet on the right. What I would say is regulars will know that I'm a little bit anal with doing stuff and adding stuff and altering it. I will be on some of them scrimming them up with extra scrim, but I'm really, really pleased with what he's done with this second helmet. So there we are with those. So the good news, I think, with obviously with 3D sculpting, is you can just go in and alter stuff, which I wasn't really aware of. I probably should have been, but I haven't got that much knowledge on how it goes about. Certainly with the sculpting I've done in green stuff, you would have to start from scratch again. So there we are. The figures are they're just really, really nice. I'm very, very impressed with them. I'm really looking forward to the other stuff he's going to do. I'll certainly be back on the Kickstarter. As I mentioned in the first video, for those who haven't got a 3D printer, there's the option of getting them done in metal. Or I think they can be supplied in resin. And obviously that's done through Full Metal Miniatures, the sort of the distribution and the sale of the metal ones. Really love the range. It's going to be excellent. If you're interested in this period at all, you definitely need to be looking at them. So there we go. Really like them, obviously, as you'll have already surmised. So what I'm going to do next, I feel a bit guilty just with one thing and another, I haven't got around to painting a couple of them. So the two, I've got a couple that are primed now. I'll be getting them done. These are the ones where I haven't got the new helmet on. One of them's got an old mofo head that I shoved on. The other one's got one of the original airborne helmets on that I've just altered slightly with green stuff and bulked it up a little bit. Having said that, I'll be doing some more. I've got I quite fancy either doing the Milan team or the Sustained Fire GPMG team, because that looks really good. Put it on one of my little irregular bases, seeing how it goes. But I will definitely be getting be having a look at some of the 20mm ones as well. That would go obviously as regulars again. Now I've got quite a large 20mm setup for the Falcons, and they'll go really nicely with those. It'll be nice to see how they match in with the other stuff I've got. So as normal, any questions at all, drop them in. We'll get back to you. Next up, after I get those couple of figures just test painted, I need to bang on with the Vietnam buildings. They're sort of, some of them are semi-completed, and I want to get that done so at least we can have a game sorted. Okay, so there we are, folks. Thanks very much indeed for all the support from me and Alex. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.